Guys, again to the last recording on the second chapter devoted to astrology, and under this chapter, like mentioned previously, I would like to introduce you to the concepts of new moon and full moon influencing trading. Now these concepts are not new. They come actually from ancient times, and they were closely watched by people due to the implications regarding the human behavior. Because financial markets, like you mentioned previously, are being a sum of human behaviors, then it is no wonder that such concepts are of interest or for long-term forecasters or for let's say trying to project a future price of a security or currency pair or equity and whatever. Under this chapter, I want to show you a study that I've made some time ago. This is my study, but it is a pleasure for me to share it with you. It was the first time when I met the concept of astrology and how it influences people behaviors and how markets are being influenced by such a simple concept. And I did my own research, and for the purpose of this project, I would like to share it with you. This broker in here that you are seeing, this is the Saxo Bank. This is a mini trader 2 platform for the Saxo Bank, and the reason that I want to show you the project that I've made is based on the euro dollar since the inception. When you are trying to look and you are trying to backtest for a security or currency pair or whatever, try to look as much as possible and try to go as much as possible into the history, because the more data that you gather is the more evidence that it is more evidence for your project. So it brings more validity to your project. So what I did, for example, I took this monthly chart. This is the euro dollar, and I looked back in history. And I went and found the new moon, full moon dates of the calendar. And as you can see in here, I've marked the cycles, like you already know from chapter 1, the cycles. But I did it in a more scientific way, let's say. And this is the result that I came with. Okay. And as you can see in here, this is the first cycle, like you're seeing on the platform here. This is the first cycle, and I divided the moves into up and down moves. Already you know this from this chapter that I present you at the beginning of this trading series. And so I took the new moon, full moon when they were happening, and look at the euro monthly chart, and just trying to see if there is any, let's say, if there is any similarity or if they have any meaning based on this chart. And what you are seeing in here is that see, in the 1980, for example, on the 2nd of January on the 1980, you can check, because I know that I checked in there, it was a full moon, and that moment coincided with the euro dollar monthly chart turning actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 smaller periods that influenced the bullish cycle, and actually the end of it was the bullish cycle was ending with a full moon. And needless to say that if you go and take a look at the whole structure in here, you are seeing that, for example, here the bullish bearish market. Now this whole structure in here, from the lows till the highs in here, this whole structure, it is actually being an upward, a bullish cycle, okay, but it is having corrections. This is a monthly chart, so such a correction, as you can see in here, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so almost 2 years, or almost 20-something candles to the downside. So this is important also. Then on this very cycle in here, all these turns all these turns, all these weeks that you're having in here, to the downside, to the upside, to the downside, to the upside, to the downside, all these turns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these turns on the monthly chart, they were made, okay, so they were made either on a new moon or on a full moon, when it was a full moon or a new moon. So, as let's say as a conclusion for this whole chapter of astrology, only to record this, but just wanted to make you feel curious and to research for more information. As a conclusion, is that while there are some of our actions, then the same, of course, markets are the sum of people's behavior. I mean, you might argue with me, and you might say that how come? Because we are in a world with marked by high frequency trading and algorithms that go and trade based on words reading and so on and so forth. Yeah, well, it may be so, but they are also they are programmed to trade still by humans. Okay. And in here, for example, after this move in here to the downside, you might see that a new bullish cycle begins. You might say in terms of value that this is an A, B, C to the upside, but each moment and each point, okay, each turning point coincides with a full moon or a new moon. Now, is this random? I don't think so. But if you want more details, that go and search for astrology and trading over the internet. So as you can see in here, for example, on this period, okay, on the trend that goes down, and on this one, okay, this one we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and actually we are having a full moon signifying the end of a trend. So the whole cycle to the downside, it is being composed out of 5 different smaller trends, 5 different smaller cycles, and the full moon indicates the end of a trend. Then you have a full moon end of trend in 4 days, end of trend in 3 days, end of trend in since 2 days, in 2 days. Okay, this is a monthly chart, so an approximate, let's say, an approximate turning point based on plus minus 3 to 4 days. It is extremely important for trading. Then you have another move, to the upside that began, and of course, again on this move, you might say that the end of trend was in 4 days, end of trade, exactly when the full moon was happening, and then the end of trend since 3 days. And these are the 3 turning dates that are represented in here. Now, what's also on this chart, as you can see, this is a Gann square of 9. So I don't know how many of you on so forth, but like I mentioned on the previous recording with when introduced you to astrology, on that Brent oil weekly chart, if you apply a Gann square on the chart, you will have the results for those retrograde motions of Mercury, and being plotted over the horizontal and the diagonal. It will give you a target for price, time, and event. Okay. So with this new moon, full moon concept, I end here the second chapter with any astrology in trading, extreme in thinking, because it is disregarded by many. But then again, for the purpose of introducing you to this phenomena and to this field, so only showing a couple of things and giving you a nice book recommendation. Yeah, so you should be on your own, and you should be aware that this really influences trading, because trading is influenced by people, and people are influenced by this phenomena. And going forward with our advanced strategies and concepts in trading, for the next chapter we are going to take a look at the Fibonacci. Now, if you refer to the trading manual that we've done on the previous project, this time we are going to look at different ways to use Fibonacci in trading. We will take a look at the standard interpretation versus the modern view, and of course we will take the time into consideration. Always when trading, try to take time into consideration. No time, then you are like driving a car in the night in the same in the right direction, but with the lights being switched off. So until next time, I wish you a nice day and stay safe out there on the markets.